Hello, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the workshops, the networking, and the breaks that we had as much as I did. And now we are going to have our reflection section with Kate for the next 15 minutes. Welcome, Kate.
Apologies, Stanley. We don't appear to have Kate at the moment. Just bear with us a couple of minutes and we'll just pop up a holding slide until she can rejoin. Thank you. Won't be a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so just please bear with us. We'll hopefully be resuming this day 2 reflections in a moment. Oh, there we go. Kate's just rejoined us, so we'll just get an update in a moment. Oh, there we go. Kate's just rejoined us, so we'll just get an update in a moment. Kate, oh, thank you, Kate. Can I just check if you've got another video playing at the moment, just to maybe shut that one down and then can resume. Okay, thank you, Stanley, as well for your welcome to Kate. We'll just wait a second.
Seem to find it, so
okay.
So I need to
just check your browser pages, and if maybe you've got another browser page open, so just keep this one open, and just check the others. Take your time; it's fine. And I can see you've got your board, so when you're ready, you can just cue us. Take your time, it's fine. And I can see you've got your board. So okay. So Kate, you just want one browser page open without anything else. So I'm hoping.
Good to go.
Great. Thank you so much. We'll pop your we'll pop up your mirror board. Brilliant. Thank you.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh, everybody, what an amazing day today was. I feel absolutely inspired, and I hope you do too. I've got 15 minutes less now, so apologies for that little technical tweak, but I'm going to dash through a little overview of what today was about. I mean, we started with Veronique de Jeffrey talking about how the humanitarian aid has got to think about climate change and how we need to make sure that we're getting the information from the ground so that people can overcome these silos, look at how to decentralize and see the difference. We then digged into that a little bit more to look at how you're doing it through the CHS membership through Balwat Singh, and how Tanya said that how the CHS Alliance has gone through 150 organizations and listening to their staff so that they can make sure that they're going through that verification process. So these 3 organizations working together to make sure that they can find that way to put at the heart the people that you are helping. We then went on to a really rich panel. And in this panel session, they talked about how there needs to be this shift in leadership. There needs to be more consortiums. I was in my head, I had the message from the group last night in the dialogue when they were talking about, we know the answers, but it's how to do it. And they were talking about how the local response needs to increase reach and access, and that finance needs to go from the people who are on the ground, the local-led coordination. And another key message that kept coming out was that collaboration with local government. So it's about this co-creation, this partnership that people want, this complementary partnership, and this importance of the role of government, and the fact that the people on the ground They want to be a partner in the discussion. The aspirations moving from the recipient to the aid to be a partner of aid. And I really like this idea of the focus needing to be on the needs of others and how to grow what's needed on the ground. And a very interesting bit of feedback from Ciali was that the COVID pandemic actually gave some opportunities because the NGOs couldn't get into being on the ground. The local people stepped up. They got more confident, and therefore you needed to sort of back up that confidence going forward. And some key discussions in the panel after their key messages was, we need to find a way for local people to access funds and accompany them, improve them through coaching, mentoring, funding, to enable them so that when the crises are triggered by government, that the local community are supported, and also that even the crises that aren't triggered by government, that the local community still gets support. There was talk of communication gaps. So all my things are allocated to different people. So they were talking about the communication gaps, the system and policy gaps, and these were areas of improvement that we could get to. So this shift in the power means that resources need to somehow get to the local people, because where the funds go, the voices are heard. And I thought that was quite a key message that was said. And in order for that to be built, there needs to be much more trust of those people holding power, and the trust of the people in power, trusting the people on the ground. So there's this kind of lovely complex organization that's happening, where people on the ground need to trust the organizations and the organizations need to trust them. And therefore in the afternoon, when we went into some of the workshops in the first grouping, the 3 workshops were about donors and power, working together, and also the digital divide. So just a quick overview, the donors and power was exploring what the partnership principles are. They looked into these 6 partnership principles, and that was Jacqueline explaining the overview. And then Karen went into her research because what she had been in an NGO, she got frustrated by some of it, which then informed her research. And she talked about the importance of what works mean and what doesn't. And she talked about these 4 important areas of clear communication, organizational ownership, realistic expectations, and being educated and informed, and the importance that people get support and to help with safeguarding. In the second one, they were talking about, here we go. They were talking about it taking a village to work together on that quality and accountability. And they were looking at the tier fund and how this exactly what we were saying, this other thread that I can see coming through is that the organizations need to change. People need to be comfortable working from the bottom up, but also we need to invest in some time for that culture to change. They were talking about the tier fund had done a self-assessment so that they shared the information, shared ideas so that they can learn from their own development, and exploring the outcomes. And, you know, they showed about the global baseline, how the tier fund can improve the compliance, and how they can build this, build these outcomes, and how much they've learned really about the importance of safe spaces to meet the partners, to create this partnership agreement, and finding time to build those partnerships. So they also realized what didn't work, and the fact that I know that we talk about the impatience of it, but sometimes actually if you try to do it too fast, it doesn't work. And also not to do it on your own, to go out to partners so that you can hear all the voices. And they were talking also about the importance of finding those best tools, recruiting allies to work together, and then also from that, looking at the loops that are already available and where you can feed into those loops. And that takes us on to another loop, a different word for a different reason. And when this was a new platform, Talk to Loop, and Alex and Isaacs were talking about this exciting platform that's still in development, but this is a place where all voices can be heard. This is a place where some countries use WhatsApp, some countries don't like using typing, they want to use their voice, so they can use voice message. Other countries like to use Facebook. And Loop is this digital platform where all voices can be gathered. So it's an exciting new idea, and there's a tweet by Bona here about the importance to engage with locals if they don't speak a majority language, are illiterate, or don't have internet connectivity. They're still having to be part of this inclusion process. All voices matter was another key message. And in the afternoon, or the second lot of workshops, what a day. I mean, it's been just juicy. So in the afternoon, this really beautiful, real dissection, I would say, of understanding power in organizations, got a great poll, and they were talking about how the importance of power and integrity, and also what power analysis was, which I hadn't come across before. But this use of power analysis, where they talked about the 4 faces of power: visible and formal, hidden and shadows, invisible power and beliefs, and deep structures. And because I do an awful lot of working in holding safe space for meaningful change, if people don't make it a safe space, she talked about this idea of the sofa discussion, and importance of the people who, before the meeting, they have a meeting and decide the agenda. So this importance of inclusion of all places and understanding the organizational integrity of those meetings, and making sure that this voice, all voices matter, are coming through somehow. And it's not, there isn't a final conclusion, but it all seems to be all these things working in process, not linear, working in process together. In the second one, we talked about empowering employees through inward accountability and using the lean model that I've seen for years in the financial sector, bringing it into the humanitarian aid sector, and making sure that Juliet was talking about this commitment side being the lowest score, and that there needs to be much more individual experience, understanding that everything is an individual learner-led experience, and they need to learn about learning. And this is a real topic that I see cross-sector as well. And also this importance of these core humanitarian standards that we've all been talking about over these past 2 days, but understanding about how we can apply it for inward focused, giving employees what they need to succeed when they need it, to build that employee capacity, to involve and inform employees in the decisions, and make sure that you employ qualified people, manage them well, but also improve other people's growth and learning. So organizational learning can be complex. There's lots of ways to go about it. I like these 5 main activities: systematic problem solving, experiment, learn from their own experiences, learn from the experience of others, and transfer knowledge. So using lean from other organizations and seeing how you can build it into this sector. There was then a really rich conversation that really felt very on the ground and very ground up, which was such an important aspect of today's session, and talking about their own unique stories from their own point of view. So thinking about, these representatives from Pakistan with translations, which is such an important part of what we discovered in the Loop area. So on the whole, a really extremely rich and marvelous day. And I hope that gave you a little bit of an idea about some of the things you might have missed and some of the things you might want to follow up upon after this session in some of the video formats. So I hope that was a quick run through of such an exciting and rich day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate, for the reflections, and looking forward to see them more in detail when you share the link. And we are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 3, when we will focus on how actors come across to collectively assess and address gaps in the quality and accountability. And we will also have a keynote address on the grand bargain from Jan Egeland. Please don't miss that. Now, I would like to invite Ale to share her graphic recording. Alexandra.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your rich offering of today. And thank you, Kate, for being able to do such a detailed gather of information. Offering now my visual summary of today with the key elements of our journey together. So we started here talking about the role of CHS and the key achievements, and so where we had been and where we are going and what we need. So the idea that we are heading to the unknown, and we need new guidelines because of the complexity of what we're facing, and the foundation that are offered from CHS create a strong base for this. Then we move to a very rich panel discussion with representative from the Pacific countries, with the idea of understanding and learn from each other about how to create agency, equity, and justice. And the focus here has been mostly about this idea of local leadership, and so the ability and the tools and the needs are needed now to give the power to the local communities to really be part of the change. So a collaboration, a new partnership between local communities and international organizations. And then we move to a really intense workshops afternoon about digitalization, collaboration again, and voices from the community, ending with Kay to create a very detailed summary of the day of today. So this is it. Thank you, everyone, and I give the word back to Stanley again.
Stanley, you appear to be on mute. If we could just ask you to just pick up again from where Alessandra handed over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alexandra, and thank you everyone for coming today. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 10 Central European time. Yeah, looking forward to see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, so just a reminder to everybody to join back in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. CST. And we look forward to welcoming you for, first of all, the keynote discussion, followed by the panel discussion. Thank you once again. Goodbye.